The time is 12 o'clock and here's the midday news. First, the top stories. We're going to begin part payment of arrears of deductions from civil servants pay. President Buhari asked many people to accommodate others. AKT bans Kaudi Faimi from public office for 10 years. 16 persons died in ghastly auto crash in Niger State. Egypt vows to protect its water supply from Nile River. Suicide bombers kill 35, injure 90 in attacks in the Iraqi capital. I am Tobi Joseph, bringing you the news in detail shortly. Ogun State government says it will today begin part payment of the arrears of cooperative societies deductions from the salaries of workers on its payroll. Also to benefit from the payment are workers at the payroll of the state local government. Finance Commissioner Adewale Oshinowo, who made this known in a statement, says the state government workers will be paid 4 months of the deduction arrears. For the local government workers, the commissioner says they will get 2 months as part of their most administration's monthly support to the councils. Oshinowo assures that the state government will clear the balance of the deduction arrears when its finance improves. Reacting to the planned payment, the Association of Senior Civil Servants of Nigeria says that its members are being owed 16 months deductions from their salaries, which are not remitted to cooperative societies. The State Secretary, Olusegun Adebiyi, told Roxy FM in Abeokuta that senior civil servants will still be owed 12 months of deduction arrears if the 4-month payment is actualized. The State Chairman of the Nigerian Union of Local Government Employees, Olatunji Ayuba, who also spoke with Roxy FM in Abeokuta, says council workers are being owed between 3 to 9 months cooperative societies deductions from the salaries. The scope of the arrears, according to him, varies from one local government to the other because they are not centralized like the state government. Ogun State government says it will sanction any religious organization who flouts the state environmental law on noise pollution. Commissioner for Environment, Bolaji Oyeleye, who made this known in an interview with Roxy FM, says the state government will penalize worship centers whose public address system is found to be disturbing neighbors.
All these are lies you know that we provide them. So those are just reports. Those are there. Once we notice that you are not part of it, we usually.
He said the ministry has been consulted by the head of service office to collect the data of religious bodies in the state. Governor Bikila has said that fighting terrorists is very difficult. He asked Nigerians to appreciate the efforts and sacrifices being made by the military and other security agencies fighting Boko Haram forces in the northeast region. The governor, speaking while answering questions from newsmen at the event marking the 2018 Armed Forces Remembrance Day at the Arcade Ground at the governor's office, Okemoso, Bogota, says undeveloped countries such as the US have been fighting Islamic State and Al Qaeda for years, and also explained that Nigeria still exists because of the efforts of security forces fighting forces seeking to forcefully divide the nation.
Effort and talent, all the men that have made their life for what we are today, we are existing as a nation because of their effort. They fought within, they fought outside the country. Lately, all of these challenges that we are having, Boko Haram, Niger, all sorts, we pray that all of this will be a thing of past.
Nigerian Union of Teachers (NUT) has directed teachers in public primary and secondary schools to stay away from classrooms in the 10 states where they are being owed salaries. The teachers were asked not to resume duty until the salary arrears are cleared by the affected state governments. The union's General Secretary, Dr. Mike Ikeke, who issued the directive, listed the states as including Abia, Adamawa, Bayelsa, Benue, Delta, Ekiti, Kogi, Ondo, Kwara, and Taraba states. The breakdown of the unpaid salaries, according to him, shows that Abia State owes primary school teachers 4 months' salaries and 1 month to secondary school teachers. Others are Damawa primary school teachers 2 months, secondary school teachers 1 month. Bayelsa primary school teachers 2 months and 4 months to secondary school teachers. Benue 12 months to primary school teachers and 7 to secondary school teachers. Also, Ekiti State Government, according to NUT, is owing 8 months' salaries to primary school teachers, 5 months to secondary school teachers. Taraba, 6 months. Delta, 4 months to primary school teachers and 1 month to secondary school teachers. Kwara is also owing 3 months' salaries to primary school teachers and 4 months' salaries to secondary school teachers, while Ondo State Government is owing 3 months' salaries to primary school teachers and 4 months to secondary school teachers. President Muhammad Buhari has urged Benin State leaders to accommodate their fellow Nigerians to end the crisis in the state. Buhari, however, says he has directed security agencies to track down the killer headsmen attacking communities in Benin State. His media aide, Femi Adesina, in a statement, says Buhari, who issued the directive at a meeting with Benin State political and traditional leaders, as well as elders at the presidential villa, Abuja, told them that he would never shoot criminals. He says all those involved in the attacks, including headsmen and illegal militia, will be arrested and prosecuted. The president calls for restraint from all parties in the conflict, adding that relevant agencies have been directed to provide relief for the victims of the headsman attack. Also, speaking with State House correspondent Governor Samuel Otam, says they demanded the arrest of the killer headsmen. Other Benin leaders at the meeting held at the presidential villa Abuja include Tobi, a former Senate President, David Mark, former Governor George Akume, Senator Barnabas Gemadi, and former Justice Minister Michael Amduaka. Others at the meeting were former Senate President and Chief Joseph Wires, Defense Minister Mansour Danali, Agriculture Minister Chief Audu Obe. Ekiti State Government has banned former Governor Kaode Fayemi from holding public offices in the state for the next 10 years. Also banned for 10 years is the state former Finance Commissioner, Dapo Kolawole. The decision is contained in the report of the judicial panel set up by Fauci administration to probe the state finance when Fayemi was the state governor between October 2010 and October 2014. The panel asked Fayemi to account for $2.75 billion allocated from the $25 billion bond for the Ado-Ekiti market project, which was never executed. It also asked the former governor to refund various sums of money to the coffers of the state government. The State Executive Council at an emergency meeting said it has accepted the report and adopted the white paper issued on it. 16 persons have been burnt to death in a ghastly auto crash in Niger State. The deadly auto crash occurred at Catalijo in the Kacha local government area less than a month after 13 people died in another crash in Bida. The fresh accident on Monday occurred when a tanker loaded with petrol and the passenger bus collided, and both of them burst into flames. The passenger bus, according to witnesses, was coming from Oyo State, while the petrol tanker was heading to Bida. Witnesses said that 15 of the passengers in the bus were trapped and then roasted to death. 2 medical doctors and a nurse have been feared dead in the outbreak of Lassa fever in Abakaliki, the Ebonyi State capital. The doctors and the nurse were serving at the Federal University Teaching Hospital, Abakaliki. The State Health Commissioner, Daniel Mezuriki, who announced this at a news conference in Abakaliki, says the index patients treated by one of the late doctors and the nurse survived and have been discharged. He says the death of the second doctor from Lassa fever has not been confirmed because he had the morbidity of diabetes. Also, a medical student and nurse in a hospital have also been hospitalized due to infection from the disease. You're still listening to the Midday News on Rock City 101.9 FM. Up next, we bring you foreign, business, and sport news. Please do stay with us. Egypt's President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi has said that he will protect the country's water supply while seeking peace with Sudan and Ethiopia. It is having disputes with over the use of the Nile River. Mr. Sisi says Egypt will seek peace with the neighboring countries and will not go to war with them. Egypt fears Ethiopia's Grand Renaissance Dam will affect water supply to the country, which almost entirely depends on the Nile. It has long maintained that it has historic rights to use the Nile and to veto projects of the world's longest river. Egypt also had a contentious row with Sudan over Halajah Triangle which lies near the Red Sea in the Mira Beach border region. Both countries claim ownership of the territory, which Egypt currently controls. Two suicide bombers have killed at least 35 people and injured 90 in an attack on the Baghdad Square, where day laborers gathered to look for work. They set off their devices at intervals, sending people scattering across the Tehran Square in the center of the Iraqi capital. Scores of laborers are said to be among the dead and injured. In business, Swiss Pharma Nigeria Limited has explained the reason behind the decision to temporarily close down the company. The company's managing director, Gabi El Khoury, in a statement, says the decision follows the current crisis in which the company found itself. The crisis, according to him, was precipitated by some members of staff opposed to the changes introduced by the new management of the company. Swiss Pharma Nigeria Limited was acquired by Bulgaran, a subsidiary of Serbia, in March 2017. Finally, on the media news, sport news. The home-based Super Eagles failed to win their first match of the 2018 Championship of African Nations (CHAN) on Monday, as they were held 0-0 by Rwanda. The match played at the Stade Ibn Battuta in Tangiers, Morocco, was one of the encounters played in Group C, as Libya had earlier defeated Equatorial Guinea 3-0. They still mate leave the Super Eagles in joint second position with Rwanda in the group, 2 points behind Libya, who are leaders of the group. The home-based Eagles were the better side, dominating possession in both halves, but failed to do the most important thing, goal scoring. Nigeria next faces Libya on Thursday, while Rwanda battle Equatorial Guinea. That was the media news, and just before we go, the major stories once again. Open to begin part payment of arrears of deduction from civil servants pay. President Buhari asked Benue people to accommodate others. Ekiti state government bans Kaudi Femi from public office for 10 years. 16 persons have died in ghastly auto crash in Niger State. Egypt vows to protect its water supply from Nile River. Suicide bombers kill 35, injure 90 in attacks in Iraqi capital. For more stories and to listen to us live, please log on to our website www.rockcityfmradio.com/live. Thank you so much for listening. I am Tobi Joseph. Good afternoon.